Well, hello, 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 and welcome back to the topic where we highlight Houston Community College, our students, our programs, and our reach into the community. I'm Dr. Darin LaMar Baskin, and I am the Director for the Quality Enhancement Plan here at Houston Community College. Now, let's get into some really good information. I think this is a great topic because it is in the wheelhouse of what Houston Community College does as an institution. September is Workforce Development Month. And as we all know, workforce has become a guiding force at Houston Community College. We've been looking at some of HCC's excellent workforce programs all month long. But today, we're going to zoom out for a strategic view. And with us today, we have the leaders of the workforce development movement here at Houston Community College, Dr. Madeline Burillo-Hopkins, who is serving as the Vice Chancellor for Workforce Development, and she's also serving a dual role as the President of the Southwest College. Welcome, Dr. Burillo-Hopkins. We also have Dr. Michael Webster, who is currently serving as the Associate Vice Chancellor for Workforce Instruction. Welcome, Dr. Webster. And we also have coming in on the end is Mohamad Tlass, who is our newly appointed Director of Workforce Quality and Development. Welcome, Mohamad. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Darin.
Very
Dr.
good.
Baskin, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
You know, you're one of my favorite people, so, I love having you here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, let's start by setting the stage. Just recently, I was reading articles that were saying something along the lines of that the Texas Workforce Commission has stated that Houston has developed in 2023 3.3 million jobs. Like, that's simply amazing. And so what is the current strength of the Houston labor market right now? Dr. Hopkins.
Well, this is a great time to be in Houston. Houston is always a can-do city, but talk about jobs. People are moving to Houston because they know that we have jobs, high-paying jobs in high growth, high demand fields. What do we have in Houston? Everything. We have from the media and from entertainment and arts. Don't forget the arts. They have a huge presence in Houston, but we also have the Texas Medical Center, the energy capital of the world that is also leading in renewable energy initiatives for the entire world. And a lot of the research that is being done for healthcare is also being done right here in the city of Houston. And technology, AI, cybersecurity. ACC has the best programs in the country in AI. And I'm not just one saying that. The technology industry sectors are saying that's the college to go to and partner with. So this is a great city that creates pipeline, that creates opportunities that lead to high-paying jobs.
Yeah, I think you've really nailed it, and you've really hit the nail on the head. And I'm gonna focus us in on a couple of those key areas that you talked about, because we already know that the strength of the Houston labor market is, of course, the people. The people that are here, that is the backbone, that is the strength, that is what drives the labor market. And where do they get their education from? They have to come to places like Houston Community College, who is the driving force behind a lot of the workforce movement here in Houston, with providing those strong work ethics in our students. So Dr. Webster, talk to us a little bit about maybe the oil and gas energy sector, that part of the workforce here at Houston Community College.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason that we wouldn't be called the energy capital of the world. This is the home to the refining community. Part of that, 26 Fortune 500 companies are home in Houston. They're headquartered here. Our oil and gas is strong. Petrochem refining is strong. We have programs, obviously, that support that. But I would also add that Houston is becoming the energy transition capital of the world. So around alternative fuels, EV engines and batteries and whatnot that are out there, all of the different components that make up the transition, Houston's at the forefront right now. And those jobs, there's a lot of good jobs associated with those. So we're training up for them here at Houston Community College.
Oh, that's amazing. I love to hear it because there's so many different areas that you can go and get some type of certificate, some type of development, some type of education, but you really want to go somewhere where the focus is on the actual development of the instruction centered around that area of workforce. So I love what we do here. I know we do it really well. And I'm going to throw it over to Mohamad because I'm going to hit him in his wheelhouse. And Mohamad, talk a little bit about the healthcare field and how it is booming right now in Houston.
Yes, thank you, Darin, for having me and having us on this conversation. As we all know, Texas Medical Center is one of the largest, not only in the nation, in the world. On average, a day, and this data as well can be verified on Texas Medical Center website. On average, a day, there is about roughly between 200 to 250,000 people in and out of the medical center. With the expansion of the medical center, we want to pay attention. I want to get your attention to the expansion of the medical center. There is a new medical center. We call it a micro medical center, West Houston as well, because we're witnessing an expansion and a growth in that area, as well as there is a growth in north side of Houston or north side of Harris County, which this is what we serve as well as the Houston Community College. And they're developing more and more hospital over there. We have to be aware, we have to be as well take into consideration the growth of the city of Houston. I believe the data as of this year, Houston exceeded 7 million total in growth. That means that's more skills we have to cater for, more opportunities for us to meet the demand of the community, as well as making sure our partners, aka the jobs and the work industry, that we're meeting their demand as well by providing all the necessary skills or student in order for them to work in that field or any field they want to.
Oh yeah. And you know what else it does? It causes more traffic too, Mohamad. Having all of those people to come over here, more traffic. And
yes.
Also longer lines at my favorite restaurants, Dr. Burillo-Hopkins. I'm just telling you, I can appreciate it, but I have to say these downfalls. I would feel remiss if I didn't.
Yeah, but that all fuels the economy. More people
Yes.
coming, more traffic means that we need more roads, we need more houses, which leads to high growth in the construction area, right? So we all benefit from it. It's a multiplying effect when these things happen, when growth happens. And you're right, Houston is a great city to be in. All the restaurants that we offer, any country of the world, you will find a restaurant here that will meet that, because we're also the most diverse city in the country, and our student population represents that, right? And we serve all people.
You took the words right out of my mouth, which was going to be my segue into our first break, which is we are very diverse. And so when we come back, we'll look at how changes in the labor market are changing education.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better, with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go.
Welcome back to the topic. We're still here celebrating Workforce Development Month with Dr. Madeline Burillo-Hopkins, who is our Vice Chancellor of Workforce, and our President for the Southwest College, Dr. Michael Webster, who is the Associate Vice Chancellor for Workforce Instruction, and Mohamad, Tlass, who is the Director for Workforce Quality and Development. And our last segment, we looked at the state of the labor market here in Houston and nationally, and some drivers of change. Let's look at how that changing how it's changing the way that we prepare for careers at Houston Community College. So, Mike, I'm gonna come to you first. Apprenticeships date back to at least the Middle Ages. What do apprenticeships look like today, and why is there such a big resurgence in the population today?
Yeah, I mean, apprenticeships are a great opportunity for students and for companies. It's really a win-win. It's an earn while you learn structure. So, historically, you've seen them in the unions, specifically in the construction craft trades. But the model overseas in Europe is very strong on just about every segment of the economy. So we're trying to expand those at Houston Community College to give students a leg up. Just think about, they don't have to make the choice between school and work. They can do them both. And by the way, do them in their own field that they're in. So we've expanded into, business services around HR, insurance, the healthcare, IT, you name it. We're out there trying to push apprenticeships in different sectors than just what's traditional. And beauty of it is the employers are loving it. And they're knocking on our doors just to get programs started. It's a great opportunity overall.
So great. I mean, that's amazing to hear. I remember hearing about apprenticeships growing up and, knowing some of my older family members who never went to college, but they ended up being nurses or ended up being a carpenter because they did these types of apprenticeship programs early in the 60s and 70s where they shadowed and then they picked up on the skills and they became that. And so it's very interesting to see the transition of how it was 40 years ago, 50 years ago to where we are today, and that it is making a resurgence. And so Dr. Burillo-Hopkins, as our Vice Chancellor of Workforce, it is imperative that how we push apprenticeships into our programming is important and successful. And so what are some ways in which HCC is incorporating apprenticeships into some of the current programs that we have?
So I'm so glad that you talked about the old apprenticeship models, because in the 21st century, we have evolved our apprenticeship programs not only to have the shadowing and the fact that they actually get to do the work that they're being trained for at a place of employment with an employer, but there's two other things today and what we do at ACC. One is our employer partners are paying these individuals to be working at their particular location, right?
Wow.
At their companies. But while they're doing that as a requirement for employment, they have to complete the formal training. They have to take college credit classes. And so I always tell my friends is HCC is college. So an apprenticeship provides you college experience, college education that you can continue to build upon. And it allows you an opportunity to enter into a career field where you now have in your resume, you have an actual college degree or certificate, but you also have work experience. You remember, Darin, before the pandemic, when unemployment was high, many of the obstacles for many of our students was, I graduated, but now they want me to have work experience, right?
Yes.
Here's the beauty of apprenticeships today. It provides the individual the work experience that employers ask them for. They have proof of concept, so to speak, because they perform. And most of these individuals are going to end up hired by those companies, and they're going to be loyal to that company. So for the company, also, they get to see the individual, they get to grow the individual. They're making investments with that individual. As they complete milestones in their education, their salaries increase at a stackable pace alongside of their certificates and growth in education. So what a beautiful program, especially for so many of our students that, they don't have to choose. anymore between going to school and going to college. They get to do it both. They get to get paid and they get a career and benefits. It's not just the salary. They get benefits. So the medical insurance and all that is taken care of. It's beautiful, beautiful model.
You jump right in. I was going to say, and we can't leave out those benefits. So you jump right in, right on cue. And, you know, I knew this conversation was going to be an easy conversation, and this would be one of our really good topics, because this is something that is such a pivotal part of where Houston Community College is moving as an institution. Hence, we were able to hire a director. And so, Mohamad, tell us, you know, as you're looking at where we are now, where we were before and where we are now, how do you see us moving forward in workforce development?
I mean, again, going back to my point earlier, what Dr. Burillo-Hopkins emphasized on, as the city of Houston grow, of course, for us, I see it as an opportunity for us to grow and internally and provide more and more skillable awards and degrees. For example, yesterday I did an audit to how many degrees we have. Believe it or not, we have over 350 degrees, ranges between associate, certificate, credit, and non-credit. Doesn't mean we stop right here, but I see us expanding and evolving more to meet the demand and the growth of the city. And what the beauty about going back to what Dr. Webster mentioned, as well as Dr. Burillo-Hopkins, the beauty about the apprenticeship is we are meeting the needs of our student as well as the industry at the same time. You're bringing them all together, strengthening our partnership with the student as well as the industry. The student, upon graduation, more likely come back. They're gonna say, you know what, I went through this program. Why don't you go through it? Hence, another opportunity for us to look at what else we need to expand on and add to what we have.
And I think you really hit a home run there, Mohamad, because it goes right into alignment with what Madeline was saying about those stackable certificates or those skill certificates that continue in education, because we're building this beautiful collaboration with our students, but also with our community, with the city of Houston. We're giving them what they're asking us for. And so they're coming to us with more and more and more, and we're able to offer more and more and more. Hence why we have so many degrees and certificates. And it aligns us with where we are in the 21st century and where our educational prize is. And so I can tell you just from being here at the institution and seeing us transitioning from the old model of apprenticeship to the new model of apprenticeship, we're moving everything in the right direction. So when we return, we'll look in depth at HCC's workforce offerings, right along with Dr. Hopkins, Dr. Webster, and Mohamad.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to the topic, where we still have our three amazing guests, Dr. Burillo-Hopkins, Dr. Webster, and Mohamad Tlass. Thank you guys for sticking in with us. This conversation is so amazing. I love having conversations like this with experts and just knowing that it's all centered around student success. So we've been talking about general trends in the workforce and workforce education. Now, let's turn to some very specifics here at Houston Community College. And I think Mohamad started off with a great point that is a great segue into this when he mentioned that he was doing an audit and he noticed that we have 350 associate's degrees, certificates, or programs. That's simply amazing. What are some of HC's most popular programs that you were able to locate, Mohamad?
That's a tricky question, Darin. From my perspective, all the programs are important. All the programs, they have a high, I believe, a high demand on. What we offer ranges between IT, that's on the credit side, healthcare, art and design, drama, music, and so on. So the goal is really what we'd like to do is we'd like to help the student actually pick the field that they are interested in. And I want to mention an interesting white paper I read last week by American Student Associate as well, A Job for the Future of America. 80% of the employers actually, or industry employers, are looking for individuals who have the right skills. And this is where we come in. This is where Houston Community College programs, all the degrees we offer, this is where we come in. As well as in the study, actually 74% of the new generation, they're looking for specific skills that help them not only get a job, but actually maintain a job for the future. The latest two degrees that we added to what we have is the 2 bachelor degrees, one in AI, and this is one of the first, as well as we have a bachelor degree in healthcare management. So the message we would like to put out to our students, wherever you need from us, more likely we have it, whether a continuing education certificate or a bachelor degree. So we have all spectrum. We have all degree on all the spectrum pretty much.
Very good. And I'm glad that you made a clarification that all of our certificates and programs are important. But you know, it comes down to, like you say, what the student wants to do with their education and with their educational path. But looking at the programs that we have, Dr. Webster, what are some of the more sought after programs that we currently have at the institution?
Truck driving is a huge one. They generally stay on a wait list. We just can't get enough of them. And the good thing is that they're going to have a job before they even finish their program. So truck driving is always on top. In healthcare, any of our healthcare programs, and by the way, I need to stop and just say that if you go to our facilities, hands down, probably some of the best facilities you're going to find across the nation. It's in particular our healthcare. Another one I would say is any of our IT programs, cybersecurity, and the student clubs. I'm not going to steal her thunder. You can talk about the student clubs. In the IT area, it's good stuff. And then I would say, we've got a few different ones in construction that are really, really high popular amongst the students. Interior design is a perfect one.
And exactly, I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of those areas have not been able to, in the past, haven't had the recognition that they have now. So it's important to highlight, especially something like truck driving, because that's not a industry field that people have rarely thought about. Oh, well, I'm going to graduate high school and go and be a truck driver. And so I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm just going to toss it over to my good friend, Madeline, because I really want to ask this question, because I heard it and I love it and I believe it. So we know that around the country that a lot of schools are starting to close, and we have thrown in this life jacket to them, this life-preserving boat. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes. Unfortunately, I think one of their local Art Institute of Houston did have to close. But like you said, HCC not only offers the programs that we've been talking about, but we are also a lifesaver for these students. We want their success. HCC offers programs in every one of those areas. We have employer partners that we do a lot of internships, apprenticeships, and also our programs are fed by the guidance of those companies. So we're here for those students, and for any other student at any of the other private schools that would choose to come to HCC. Like you heard, we have over 350 degrees and certificates. We have those here. Low cost doesn't mean low quality. In the case of HCC, is the opposite. is the best value and for any of our citizens or any of our community members to come to this college. This college is recognized nationally as a workforce leader in educating individuals for relevant careers. Not only that, our students win global competitions. So our students all enter into competitions, and that's the proof. The proof is the outcome and how our students can perform. And our students can perform with the best in the country and in the world. And I also want to mention, there's currently over 600,000 cybersecurity job openings in the country.
Wow.
600,000 that they can't find enough people. ACC offers a best-in-class cybersecurity program that has been redesignated as a center of excellence for cybersecurity education by the United States Homeland Security Administration, which means we meet the highest standards and ethical cybersecurity training and education. And that's just an example. I can tell you the same thing about our truck driving program is recognized nationally. Our faculty is top in the country, and they're professionals in their career and in their fields. Our healthcare programs, you come in at any of our healthcare programs, you're gonna have a job before you leave because of where we're located. And again, you can start at a level 1 certificate or an occupational skills awards. And it's an entry point to then have an entire career. Every one of the certificates, it's a portion of where you need to go next. And now, as Mohamad mentioned, we're offering bachelor's degrees in 2 high growth areas and industry sectors, AI and robotics, the only bachelor's degree in the state of Texas in AI and robotics, and our healthcare management program. HCC is the best value for our community, for our state. And again, we're leading in workforce education. There's not a better place to come than HCC.
And I think you have really summed it up. And I love that it sounds like an amazing commercial, because look, we need to first tell about ourselves and then sit back and appreciate. I want to also say before we close this out, I will feel remiss if I didn't mention and highlight exactly what you just said. We have some of the best faculty in the world. So keep that in mind. And for anyone that really is interested in any workforce programs, everything is available after the show. You'll be able to have the links and all of the handouts that we have posted. Thanks for joining us on the topic. Thank you to my guest. And for more information on this, visit hccs.edu/podcast for the topic on HCC TV. I'm Dr. Darin LaMar Baskin.